What's up out there, clickers and travelers on the internet? This is Brad Fosho. Welcome to the channel. And I'm a little nervous and fluttered and shaken today because this is my first time doing an official one-to-one podcast. So it may crash or burn, but I'm good at that stuff. I'm pretty much a crash dummy. I'm used to that. But I am very blessed and fortunate to have a person that I have idolized growing up in the field of animation when I was just a snot-nosed kid. He is one of the original OGs of the late great Blue Sky Studios. He is one of the creators and directors of the infamous Treehouse Studios. If you don't know what the hell that is, look that up. Good luck trying. Also, one of the legendary Lost Boys of animation. I hope to get a little bit more information about that as the podcast goes on. Creator of Just a Few More Minutes podcast, which I am unapologetically trying to rip off right now. Has worked on almost every Ice Age movie known to man. His resume includes Freebirds, Book of Life, and the all-time great Horton Hears. He's worked at AAA title companies like Blizzard, Riot, EA, Gearbox, a former Marine, a Nintendo diehard, and if you ever catch him streaming, he also raises money for children's hospitals on the Extra Life program, which I highly recommend you guys check out. And a man that carries the title, which was probably enforced upon him, unwillingly, as the, and they don't hand those out lightly. So your friend and mine, the one and only senior animator, the Pete Paquette.
Well, I don't deserve that intro, man.
Welcome to my fake podcast, Pete.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to be here.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you for doing this and taking time out of your busy day. It's the weekend, so you got nothing to do but just let loose, spend time with the family. But hey, it's always good to have a friend talk about the industry, about the biz, and just kick back and crack open and just shoot the shit. I'm pretty sure I could swear now because YouTube gives you a 2-minute window or some shit like that. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So cool, man. So how's it going, dude? How's the whole work from home thing going for you?
Well, it's nothing new for me. I've been working from home for like 7 years.
You're right.
I kind of was at the forefront of it all with Riot Games. So they were gracious enough to hire me and give me a shot. They sent me a laptop, and I was able to produce work for them, and they put it in the game and stuff like that. But that was already 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Yeah, looking at your resume, dude, you've been in the game for what, 20 years now?
Yeah. About that.
Yeah? Did it go by quick?
It did, actually. My first gig, I would say, if you want to call it that, it was a internship for a company in Sarasota.
Mm.
And they made children's holiday videos straight to VHS. And I said VHS, so that's how long ago this was. I swear it was a drug front, but
as you do in Florida, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I learned a lot by going there, and I learned a lot about animating a skeleton and stuff. Not any good, but it was a good sort of jumping off point, I would say.
Right. Yeah, and in Sarasota, that was the infamous Ringling School, right? Did you happen to go there? Or?
Yeah, I went to Ringling School of Art and Design. Yeah. That was, and this place was in Bradenton, Florida.
Mm.
It was called Aston Entertainment.
Gotcha.
I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I just recently uploaded it to Vimeo because nobody, it doesn't exist otherwise.
Right.
So for preservation, I've kind of like put it up there on my Vimeo page.
Absolutely. You have to document that stuff, man. That's classic shit right there, man. You know?
Yeah.
It's good to know where you came from. And looking at your resume, and just knowing how I too went to school in Florida. It was a place in Tampa called IADT. It's not there anymore. It was turned into Brown's College. I wonder why. But I always thought the name, like, really spoke for what it was. But I'm trying to keep it light. But during that time, that's when I started really studying other animators' work. And I think it was the 10-second club before it was 11-second club. That was an online animation competition. And I happened to catch a review by a certain fellow named Nick Bruno. And when I learned who he was, I did a deep dive into what the internet was all about. And then I happened to come upon, obviously, Mr. Jeff Gabor and a certain Mr. Pete Paquette with all these puppets and shit. And I was just like, who the hell are these guys, And yeah, to kind of backtrack, to kind of go into those early stages, I wanted to pick your brain, because normally a lot of podcasts and talks start with, take me to the beginning, or, take me to like what it is that started, you as an animator and so forth and so on. But for me, I'm like a really heartfelt Blue Sky fan. So I want to set the time, like I want to turn on the DeLorean and set it back to your first, entrance into Blue Sky, and how, you kind of got that band together, kind of take me through, what the time was and how you actually got into Blue Sky. How did that all come about?
Well, it's an interesting story. Really, I was working for Sony Pictures Imageworks at the time on Polar Express,
Mm-hmm.
and I hated it, and I wanted to move on. Going back even further, there's a reason why I'm going back even further. My first internship outside of Aston Entertainment, my first like professional internship was at LucasArts.
Okay.
Back in like 2002, something like that. And
shit. Okay.
I met a fella named James Chang.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know his work, he's an amazing animator as well. He's top notch. And
Cool.
He took me under his wing and taught me a bunch of stuff. And then I went and worked on Polar Express, and I was miserable. My wife was miserable in LA, and we wanted to leave, so we did. And James actually like helped. I remember we flew out on a red eye flight to go to Blue Sky and talk to them. And I didn't sleep the whole way.
Oh damn!
I was excited.
Right off the flight? Are we talking like day
right
after flight?
They had me interview right after the flight, so I was really tired when
no pressure.
Yeah, I was really tired when I interviewed, and
Mm-hmm.
They thought I was like kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like aloof, like I didn't care.
Oh, right,
And,
right. Kind of gave
so
that
they weren't
vibe.
going to hire me.
Oh no, yeah.
And James put his neck out and got me in the door.
No kidding.
And I started as a background animator on robots.
Robots. Very classic.
And
yeah.
And then, I stayed there. I proved myself on robots that I could actually animate like full shots.
Mm-hmm. And you weren't sleepy no more, I'm guessing.
Right, exactly. I was working my ass off, and they really liked my work. They really enjoyed my work. At the end of Robots, Chris Wedge emailed me himself and said,
"No kidding." The director. Right?
Yeah, he was like, I'm totally amazed at your growth during this time.
Oh.
And he's like, and I hope we can work together again in the future. And it was awesome. And I
such
loved
a confidence boost
robots.
too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Damn, the director. That's amazing.
So
very cool.
After Robots, we jumped on Ice Age 2. And we wrapped Ice Age 2. Basically, just to kind of give you some context, Blue Sky at the time was in White Plains in this office building on the 17th floor.
Right. Was it in Connecticut at that time, or did it move? Okay.
It was in White Plains, New York.
White Plains, gotcha.
Yeah, and
is that where the accent comes from, or am I jumping? Am I jumping the gun? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Massachusetts.
Got you. I say that because
I don't have much of an accent. I lost a lot of it from the Marines.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because some of your famous puppet work, your character Pete, ironically is named Pete as well too, has a very, very thick Brooklyn accent in there, and I was just curious if that's where the origin had originated. But gotcha, Massachusetts. I'll definitely remember that.
Yeah, it's that character. When I came up with the Pete character, I thought it was like this extremely caricatured version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I pushed the accent as far as I possibly could, like beyond Massachusetts into like Brooklyn.
Yeah, right. That's awesome, man. That's cool. When did Blue Sky make the jump to its new studio in Kinetic at the time? Was that way down the line, or I don't want to skip ahead through the talk that you got me going on right now, but
oh God, my memory is really bad. I apologize.
No, that's all right. I should have researched this.
Well, I remember there was this one point where they moved the entire animation team down to what was called LL2, which was the basement, basically.
LL2. I think I've heard stories building. About that.
Yeah, the same building. And down in LL2, it was terrible. It was flooding all the time. Like
I heard about the floods. Holy shit!
Yeah, we had animators who their cubes got completely flooded and damages and everything.
Oh my God!
So we were tucked away. Me and well, we weren't tucked away at the time. Actually, we were in a cube as ourselves. Myself, Nick Bruno, Scott Carroll, and Paul Downs.
Paul Downs, yeah, the original.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And we were in a cube, and they suddenly Blue Sky was like, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna give you guys a stipend to doll up your cubes. Do whatever you take the money and do something cool with your cube with it." So we decided to pool all our money together and make a giant treehouse.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we got all the lumber,
Okay. Let me take me back a little bit. The studios, because I wanted to ask what was the origin of Treehouse Studios. So the studio basically gives you a full say of saying just do whatever the fuck you want, or gives you some funding to kind of doll up your cubicle. Is that kind of how it happened? Or
yeah, that's exactly how it happened. It ended up
shit.
That we built a treehouse, and with lumber 2x4s and stuff like that, and none of us are carpenters. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Who built it? Or was it just all y'all chipping in?
Yeah, it was us for Pimp Kane, Scott Carroll. We call him Pimp Kane.
Yeah,
that was the nickname I gave him anyway.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He.
So the original, because this is pre Jeff, right? I want to get to him soon, but this was Nick Bruno, you, Paul Downs, Scott Carell, and not Carell. Is it Carol? Sorry,
Carol, yeah.
I'm thinking the other Scott. Anyway, sorry, Pimp Kane. But yeah, so these were the original 4, right? It was you 4 starting this out. Okay, cool. Keep going. Yeah.
Now Jeff Gabor was there at the time when all this kind of transpired.
Okay.
He just wasn't a part of the Treehouse at that point in time. It wasn't until I left that he took my place.
Oh, like he took your spot, huh?
Yeah.
Damn, Gabor, man, always getting into people's shit. Yeah. So that's cool. So you guys pulled up your own money. Did you have blueprints for this? Did you kind of know how it was going to look, or did you just kind of throw shit together?
It was all in the mind of Pimp Kane. It was him. It was all him.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, he was the mastermind behind like the design and everything like that, and how it should be built.
Very cool.
And they moved us at one point while we were down in the basement. They moved us all to like this other area down in the back, and we had to like take everything apart, put it in storage.
Oh, damn.
And we left like a facade of the treehouse in like outside of our area. And
so
that's
a treehouse in the
area,
basement. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that area is where you see the first episode of Treehouse Studios is in that area.
Oh, no shit.
It wasn't in the actual finished treehouse.
God, yeah. Okay.
It was like in a faux treehouse.
Right. Oh my God, that's incredible. So like you had a treehouse technically in a basement or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just like up in a tree in a basement. Oh, that's clever. That's really cool. Oh, well, dude, what's that?
I was going to say how Treehouse Studios came about is actually kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, please share. I'm excited.
We found out there were these things called Muppet Whatnots.
Muppet
Whatnots, using the Henson terminology, is basically interchangeable faces, like a Mr. Potato Head of a Muppet.
Okay,
for background characters in Muppets in Henson's projects and stuff. But FAO Schwartz was making them available to the public, and you can like customize your own and stuff. So we each customized each other's. We didn't customize our own.
Okay.
Well, like, hold on.
Kind of like drawing a character, but instead of drawing, you're actually molding a Muppet of the other. There he is. Hey, Pete.
This was mine. Hey, you bastard.
Thank you. I was like, give me a good insult. I'd be honored.
Yeah, but so they made these Muppet Whatnots, and we altered them a bit, but we were happy with them, and we were doing like little shorts with them, like little tiny shorts. Like we wanted to do one with like Pimp Kane and how much he loved Pepsi, but we were gonna bleep it out right at the right part so that just the P and the I came out like something.
Holy shit, dude! Yeah, that's great.
We showed it to the story department was right next to us, and at the time, Bob Camp, one of the co-creators of Ren and Stimpy, was working there.
No kidding.
And Bob, we showed it to him, and he's like,
yeah,
and he's like, this is great, but he's like, you should actually like do something with it. Like, these little things are cool, but you'll feel so much better about the whole thing if you actually like make something out of it.
Take initiative. Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah.
So
and then. What, YouTube was around at the time, or just being born, some like video platform that you could just throw shit on, and you were like, "Hey, let's throw this crap on YouTube, see what happens." Huh?
Yeah, and it's still up there. Like we haven't been able to take it down because none of us know the password.
No shit. I was just gonna say, Pete, I was subscribed to your channel, but I also too lost my first account, so I'm probably like one of your 12 subscribers there or something like that. But dude, I was, and I actually just entertained myself last night and binged watched a bunch of your Treehouse episodes last night. For anybody watching, definitely go check it out. I think it's Lost Boys Productions or.
Lost Boys, but the boys with a Z.
With a Z, that's right. Lost Boys with a Z. Put some respect on the name and do yourself a treat and go watch that and subscribe to it. I don't know who's monetizing it now, but
all one word.
Exactly. That's cool. this is my personal question. Where did the Lost Boys originate from? Was it from the movie or was it from like Lost Boys Peter Pan? That's the only two clues I got.
It was Peter Pan.
Okay,
That
gotcha.
was basically what we called ourselves, like
Right.
when we were working there. You
Yeah.
know.
I was hoping it'd be that because Peter Pan's like one of my all-time favorites, like classics, and yeah, I have a heartfelt connection to the story. So I guess that's what attracted me the first time I saw it was, oh my God, there's actual Lost Boys. You know, you guys were like the band, like to me, like the animation band. You know, like Kiss, Motley Crue, Rolling Stones. Like holy shit, these guys are the guys that did the Ice Age shit. You know, like that's awesome, man. But it was really cool. I love hearing how all that came to par. And so the Lost Boys gets its name, it gets its headquarters, it gets its title, and you guys start making your puppets and stuff like that. Were you making these movies like during production or on the weekends or some shit? Or like what was your schedule like during that time?
Well, usually when we make them, it would be first thing in the morning before work.
Oh wow.
That was the optimal time for making them.
Yeah.
So if you look there's one sequence where, the sequence where the Prius is driving around and stuff like that. It actually looks almost dark out because it was first thing in the morning.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah.
It looked like it. Like watching the footage, I did kind of get a sense of that, but I didn't know if it was on a Saturday, but I could tell it was early, given the outtakes and how much you guys were swearing all the time, like gave me a good chuckle, but I also figured I was like, damn, is this during production? These guys are animals. Getting all
Yeah.
that footage, man. That must have been some
Yeah.
good times, man. Yeah, my favorite episode, my personal favorite is a Pete in Time. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's a Pete in Time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very big fan of Back to the Future. Do you guys do yourself a favor, watchers or listeners, whoever's watching this, go check that one out. That was a treat for anybody. Dude, that's all great, man. Just me being a fan at heart. I love seeing all the content that was coming out with you guys, as well as you creating all the films from Blue Sky. And dude, like, man, it's looking back on all that now. Like, I just kind of looked this up. It's almost been like 3 years now since Blue Sky closed. Like,
I know.
looking back on all that, man, like, what was the kind of like when you reflect on your time at Blue Sky? Like, what do you want? What would you like to tell the viewers and all these youngsters out there and pass on? Like, what the message of Blue Sky was as far as either could be animation or just life advice, reflecting on it. What are your thoughts?
I would say the crew at Blue Sky is what made Blue Sky. I haven't worked at another place since that has that tight of a crew that there was back then. We were brothers and sisters. We ate together. We laughed together. We cried together. It was really something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. Especially the content that came out around that time. Like I know, especially Continental Drift, or I'm sorry, the Meltdown. When Meltdown had came out, that was a giant fucking push in the style of animation that we were seeing around that time. Like it was very snappy, it was very funny, it was very, cartoony, very flexible. And I remember watching that thinking to myself, how the fudge are they doing all this shit, like with these rigs and stuff. And it's funny when, you talk about different animation styles. Like, there's a hyper realistic style, there's a cartoony style, there's kind of like an in between, anticipation. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this in the past, especially some of my mentors. When you think of the Blue Sky style, like what would you say the Blue Sky style is?
Well, I could tell you one thing right off the bat. Blue Sky is responsible for all the cartoony animation you see in CG right now.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Because prior to Horton Hears a Who, you didn't see stuff like that in 3D. You didn't see it.
Right.
And they pushed the industry to a new level.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, I'm just absorbing all your wisdom. I'm just saying, like, because you make a great point, and that's something I definitely want to second too. That it made that next jump in the style of animation that we absorb today, and what's possible to do with CG. My question was, because like normally they say, oh, the Disney style, like for example, Disney style, it's a, exaggeration and anticipation in certain poses, or something in Lucasfilm where it's hyper real all the time, or Sony, which is pretty much staple for being cartoony all the time, just rubber hose, whatever. Now, with the Spider-Verse shit that they're doing and all that, that's like a whole new thing. But when you think blue sky style, the style of animation, what kind of comes to your mind? How do you explain the blue style? Blue style, yeah, blue style, blue sky style of animating. Like, what's their martial arts, so to speak?
I would say it would be Warner Brothers when Warner Brothers didn't exist in the industry at the time. It didn't. There was like this big hole in the industry that was like the cartoony goodness of Warner Brothers style animation, and I feel like Blue Sky fit that pretty well.
Fit that bill, yeah, in the 3D world. That makes sense. I got my Warner Brothers hat on right now. Hey, like look at all the research I did. No, that's awesome, dude. So did you see that a lot, especially when you were starting, like Scrat's probably like the pinnacle of, the animator's repertoire when it comes to that slick, smooth, fast, zippy style. Did you guys reflect and look a lot back into like the old Merry Melodies, Warner Brother, Chuck Jones stuff, Tex Avery things? Is that kind of like where you drew your inspiration from?
Chuck Jones was a big inspiration for a lot of us.
Very cool.
For sure.
I heard a story too that, especially on Horton Hears a Who, because I love watching Horton Hears a Who. How was the production on that movie? Like, I heard a bunch of stories around Blue Sky concerning the rigs and, like kind of like how you had to adapt to a certain type of animation to work around lag time and slowness. Was that pretty accurate? And what was going on during that time?
At the time, they were introducing a new rigging system, which was like like piecemeal. Like they would piece together rigs with different, and they would have like pre-made parts. The problem is once they got them all together, they couldn't optimize it, so they were slow as hell. And when I say slow, I mean like I would hit next frame, and then an hourglass would come up and spin a few times before it would go to the next frame.
Oh my God!
So I had to teach myself how to animate without relying on play blasting, because play blasting took hours. And to this day, I don't need to play blast to see my work. I can do it without it.
No kidding.
And which was a blessing in disguise, because I don't think I would have been able to work on the movie otherwise. It was so slow. It was so slow.
We're talking a bunch of overtime. How was it? What was your day to day on that film?
Everybody always asks me what was your favorite Blue Sky movie to work on? I said Horton. What's your worst movie to work on? I said Horton.
And
they said, why? And I explained that, well, we got to do some really cool shit. Some really cool stylized shit. Like, and the director was like, basically he was like, here's your goalpost, get it somewhere in here and we're happy. So we were able to do whatever we wanted, really. It was kind of like a free for all. And but it came out really well, and the downside of that is that the studio at the time had never had to attempt to make multiple worlds in one movie at one time before. So
like the set pieces, environments, and such. Yeah.
Yeah. So animation got so pinched that we were working, 6-day weeks, 12 hours a day.
Damn.
And
I can believe it. Oh. Interesting. Was that the most character-heavy film too that you guys had tackled?
Up to that point, yeah.
Up to that point, yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Horton Hears Who is a classic. I find myself still watching that movie, really just kind of amazed at what you guys were able to pull off. And yeah, hearing the horror stories, relating, knowing that rig lag is a pain in the ass and it makes you want to karate chop your desk in half and throw your shit out the window and pull your hair out. I'm almost bald altogether just because, I'm constantly fighting with the box in the computer. It looks good on you, Pete, man. It doesn't, unfortunately, for me, dude. I'm trying to break out of my shell, so little by little, give me a few more drinks. I'll probably pull it off by the end of the talk, but But no, dude, I thought it was such a breakthrough film. And then since that had happened, you started to see like the other studios kind of adapting, that quickness, that style. And then all of a sudden people started referring to make it like Horton Hears a Who, or look at this scene from Horton Hears a Who, like look at this shot. We want it really rubber hosey, Do you feel like after that movie hit, that was kind of like your holy shit moment, like we're actually on to something here? Like, did you ever get that feeling when you were in the studio, like, yeah, I don't want to be going away for a little while, like these guys and gals are on to some shit right now?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really remember there being any sort of like, when it was done, like there being any sort of like, damn, we really pulled it out. It wasn't until years later that I realized the impact it actually had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember being done with it. It was right before Christmas, and I was going away on a vacation. I was going away for a Christmas vacation, and I finished my shot, which was the one where there's like this guy who's this construction worker who's working on something, and he's like, yeah, these things they build themselves, and then like this big earthquake happens, and all the strapping and the wood and everything flies in the sky, and it comes down, and it's already built. And,
right, yeah.
And that took me forever to animate that shot.
No kidding. But all the pieces individually, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Like falling down and building itself. Wow.
And
no AI here, folks. This is the real deal.
So I worked a 16-hour day that day.
Damn.
To finish that shot, so I could go on vacation and not worry about being recalled.
Just like you got to earn your vacation, motherfucker. Yeah. It's like, such is life, such is our pain, man. But no, the movie came out beautifully. I wanted to talk really quick because you mentioned kind of like your style of animating, which I found really fascinating. I heard another podcast of you kind of briefly talking about it, saying you taught yourself animating without having to worry about play blasting, or usually kind of like playing it back at real time and stuff. Could you give me kind of like a little bit of kind of backstory of, like, I know how, like, why you adapted it to it, but like what's kind of like your thought process when you're animating? Are you going back to like the 2D traditional style of animating where you're just timing and spacing things and adding nice breakdowns and not having to rely on play blasting? Can you just like expand a little bit more about that?
Well, as technology has gotten better, the less I've had to rely on this this method of how I've kind of come about animating. Usually, so in the posing, it all starts with the posing. If you can get good posing, and like everything you need to know is in it, like just to give you an idea, a good pose, everything you need to know about the character and about where they're going and where they're coming from, like literally, should be in that pose. And if you can get that blocking down to where you're capturing that, then, finishing it out is really quite simple. The trick is in the blocking. It's really what makes it's the juice. You know what I mean?
The juice. Oh yeah. I call it hardcore story posing. Just golden posing, from the past. I call it hardcore, now, and then who knows, it could be XXX triple rated posing. I don't know. It's just whatever. But so I think like the real key to hammer home to a lot of animators, and especially such as myself, because I adopt the method of just playing it, pose, playing it, pose, playing it, pose, just to get the feeling happen. And I've always wanted to go back to the old traditional style of just knowing your golden poses, having them read and know exactly what the character is doing, thinking, going. You should be able to tell what they're doing even when it's on a flash frame, kind of like a thumbnail, right? Or a storybook page. And I find myself wanting to try that a lot more to help kind of my animation process, where I don't have to keep relying on playing over and over and over again and still thinking things that are wrong. But I really, really admire that kind of workflow. Hoping to figure something out pretty soon about it, because it sounds I think two-play blasting is kind of overrated, but at this time and age, a lot of people like a lot of different takes of animation, especially in gaming. They want like version A, B, C, and D. And then like a client, they go back to A, the original ones that we start with. And usually that's the one that gets sold. But no, that's a very, very, very good advice. And do you still adopt that work? Like, will you still use that workflow in your animation nowadays? I'm assuming, right?
When I'm posing, I make sure that my poses are solid, and I'll block all the way down to 2s.
Heavy blocker, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, if I'm not happy with it, I won't spline it until I'm happy with it.
Gotcha. Are you one of those late spliners, or are you like premature spliner like me?
No, I'm definitely a late spliner. I can pretty much hit spline and it's almost good to go.
Okay. Yeah, good deal. Yeah. That's the thing that's really good too, because I find a lot of my students in their work, they tend to go straight to splining without blocking fucking anything. And I always tell them,
I know plenty of animators that do that, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what matters is the end result.
Yeah. There's multiple ways of doing it too, but I do like, and I do tell them too, is like you can get the same kind of reaction and feeling in animation by just heavy blocking. And I try to encourage them to do that too, because a lot of mistakes that I see like students, especially in my class, making is that they like Maya to do majority of the pushing for them. So they'll just do like maybe a couple of poses and then hit spline and be like, see, that's the feeling that I'm looking for, with it looking like total crap, and I'm like thinking,
yeah, well, that's you can't let the computer do anything.
Right. Yeah. Fuck you, AI.
Brad Bird once said, like, if the computer was happy, it would sit there and just spin a sphere all day long, just completely linearly. You have to like actually like fight the computer, Yeah,
you got to choke them out. Yeah.
Yeah, to get exactly what you need. because the computer just wants to do things completely easiest A to B, you know.
Gotcha. That's cool. What in talking about like your animation process, what's some of your favorite shots that you worked on? Like what gets Pete Paquette really excited when he's animating? Like obviously you're running the mill generic stuff, you know, we've all done it in the past, but what's the juicy assignment that Pete Paquette likes?
I really enjoy full body acting and locomotion. If I could, I enjoy doing it because I fear it, because it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But when I do it and I see the outcome, normally I'm happy.
It's like, if not, we keep choking it until we are happy. Yeah.
Those are the challenging. That's what I tell students of mine to, like, you know, when you're trying to impress like a company or something, they want to see that you can act and that you can do mechanics well. If you do both at the same time, that's even better.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And be entertaining too. Is that a plus?
Yeah. That's definitely a plus. That's the juice.
The juice. I love it. Yeah, that's the new term. I want the juice. Give me the juice on the demo reel. Speaking of juice, I think I'm on a juicy IPA. This is my beverage of choice. I don't know if we could see it too well.
Got Voodoo Ranger?
Got Voodoo Ranger, my friend.
I got Pulp Daddy. This is a juicy one.
Oh my God, I'm liking it. I like the name. I think it's the name that catches me more than anything. Like when I go try a new beverage or I'm at a bar that I've never been to before. You know, like if they got a good logo and a good name and a good story behind it, I'm like, just get me the fucking deluxe edition. You know, you know.
I'm more of like the I look at the alcohol content.
There you go. Yeah, right. What gets me buzzed good and fast, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree with you there, sir. Yep. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a good brew, but, you know, good company, good brew, can't go wrong there. That's awesome, dude. So, yeah, full body acting. And I remember at the time when I was applying to Blue Sky as well, that was like something that they were looking for. I think Nick Bruno had said it. He goes, something that's entertaining. Obviously, and for all the students out there, if anybody's listening and watching, looking for a good demo reel, and I tell everybody, I'm sure you could probably agree to this too, is kind of the instant check mark that you have to give is weight and mechanics. Like you got to have that down pat, almost to be even considered to be like, okay, well, let me look at this guy a little or a girl a little bit longer and see what else they can do. And then, of course, like the acting is there, and then the entertainment aspect too. And then when you have all those together, it kind of just puts you in a category of like, okay, maybe we could speak to this person. And then of course, it's like, what's your personality like, you know? And then just don't fall asleep, you know, after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good advice.
I've sat in many real reviews, and I could tell within 10 seconds if candidate has the skill to join. Yeah. And usually it's mechanics that is their culprit.
Is the biggest, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird that, and I've seen this before, it's like a quick story about your buddy Jeff, because I had a interview reel with him, or he with me, and I remember it as clear as day when he looked at my reel, and he basically knew which one was my newest shot, which one was my oldest shot, and they were all scrambled. It wasn't like I had my newest one in the beginning or at the end. They were just kind of like in the middle. It's like almost as if like he saw my progress within all my shots that were just scattered as shit. And I remember him saying like, this is your most recent one, right? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he's just like, great. Do me a favor. Go home, scrap everything, and make another reel that's better than this shot. It was just like, you got it. I was like, I always says like, it's such a sixth sense or something like that. It's like, it's almost like animators can like see, you know, kind of like old and progressed work. They can kind of just tell like, which one's your best and which one's your weakest, but like also kind of like where you are at in your animation journey, Wouldn't you say that's kind of the thing?
To be fair, we have to give context of Jeff Gabor. Jeff Gabor is a savant of animation. He is he is an Annie Award winner, which is the equivalent, if you don't know, of getting an Oscar for being an animator.
Yep.
He is on a whole other level.
Yeah, I was about to say, that son of a bitch flashing that Annie Award around.
Yeah.
His fucking hair too, like that anime-esque hair. Man, I wish I could get it to look like, but I'm not blessed with genetics, so yeah. No.
I don't think I could look at your shots and tell you which ones were the newest ones.
Okay.
I don't. To be fair, I don't think I could.
Gotcha. Well, that's really humble, though. Well, so what we can conclude of this is just that, Jeff, you're just blessed. Suck it.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. No, it's because of Jeff Gabor and because of that demo reel that I remember that I did, made me want to push my work even further. So, yeah, that was a big kind of revelation to me, and I kind of try to look at too, especially with my students' work when they're submitting stuff, to kind of give them, kind of like guide them along the same path. It's like, well, this is good. I'd like to see more of this. How do you feel about that? And if it doesn't feel good, just take it off your demo reel. Just simple as that. Very good,
Yep.
Very good.
Just remember, with demo reel stuff, you're always judged by your worst work.
Yeah.
Not your best.
The classic saying, it's like you're only as good as your last shot.
Yep.
No, most definitely. Yeah, guys, demo reel. And like, do you feel like nowadays with the age of TikTok and reels and shit like that, and people swiping every fucking 8 seconds, it's almost like the equivalent of looking at demo reels, right? In a sense.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that's kind of the way the similarities.
Yeah, that's what I tell my students. I said, how you guys are just swiping, all the time. You have like what do they say? The attention span of a goldfish. It's like, yeah, imagine being paid to having to look through people's demo reels for an hour. It's like I can't even get through 3 of them from start to finish if they're not good. Yeah, just swipe next.
Yeah, that's why I always say, like, don't ever have like this long intro. Save your name and information for the very end. If they've stuck around long enough, they'll find your information.
That's an interesting way of doing it too. So it's like no intro, just straight to the animation and keeping it at the end.
Yeah. Straight to action.
Straight to action. I like that. Like get them in the first couple of seconds, the hook, right?
Yep.
Awesome, dude.
And if they're interested, they'll stick around.
Yeah, that's good advice. I like that. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm inspired now to go work on my own shit too, but I got a podcast to do. See, we got about like 10, 12 more minutes. Dude, this has been fun so far, dude.
Yeah, likewise, man. I really am having a good time.
Cool, man. I'm glad. Well, that's my job, to make you comfortable, make you relax, make you chill. I want to take a kind of like a turn, a spin, to kind of like the future, kind of like, what's got you pumped, man? Like what are you seeing that's out there that you're looking forward to? Like what can we expect from the Pete Paquette in the future when it comes to animation projects? You got anything going for yourself right now? Or?
Well, I can't really speak of it too much, but I recently got picked up by DreamWorks.
Congratulations.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about what they have in store.
Awesome, man. Yeah, DW is a great place to be. How about video games, man? You still playing video games, man? How about that Mario movie coming out? Yay or nay? What you thinking?
Dude, I'm just bitter because I
didn't get to work on it. Me too.
Well, here's what happened. They said they were going to have an offer for me, and they never called me with it.
Oh, shit. No kidding.
Yeah, they said that because of budgetary reasons, they had to like...
A what-tary reason?
Budgetary reasons.
Budgetary. What is that? I gotta Google
budget.
That. Oh, budgetary. Oh, budget. Oh, budgetary. I thought you said budgetary. I was like, what the fuck is budgetary? I mean, it sounds kind of hot, but I was like, I never heard that excuse before. I'm gonna tell that to one of my coworkers. I'm like, can't come to work, budgetary reasons.
Yeah.
Oh damn, man! So this
yeah,
this was Illumination, or was this
Yeah, this was Illumination. I was so close to working on the Mario movie. I was just
damn.
I was crushed, man.
Oh man,
I was crushed.
I'm sorry. Well, hopefully, I'm sure they're gonna have a couple sequels in the work after this, because it looks pretty hot, man. The ending result looks pretty interesting. I don't know. What's your take, being the Nintendo aficionado that you are? I wanna get an animator's Nintendo take on it. What do you think?
I like it. I think it's got a lot. It hits all the right buttons, and it it pays homage to the right things when it needs to, and I think it'll do well.
Yeah, let's hope so. It already is looking great. I'm super stoked because I got tickets to Super Nintendo World for my wife's birthday. A few more weeks.
Oh, so nice.
I'm actually more excited than she is for obvious reasons. She knows a bit about Mario, but I know a lot about Mario. So yeah, this is like husband's full, workforce effect on getting this just right. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Can't wait to get out there and make a fool of myself and eat a mushroom or two, That's cool, man. So, yeah, I can't wait to check that one out. How's your Nintendo collection going on? This is like way off topic, but I just wanted to say, how are you doing on that front?
I'm at 700 right now.
Damn, we eating that Applebee's tonight. How many is there altogether? I know
there's 832.
Jeez,
832, I believe.
Did you get the rarest ones, or you're still looking for them? What's the rarest one that you own? Left. What's the rarest one that you own?
It's called Gunnack. It goes for about 500.
Gunnack. I think I might have heard about that. Maybe not. That's in your basement, right? Your arcade room, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son took the whole basement over.
Of course he did. Yeah.
he's got all these several $100 video games on the walls that he has no idea are worth it.
Right. That's just decorations. That's just dad shit,
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I hope to make a trip out there and see it in person myself, dude. I really appreciate all the work that you do for Extra Life. I think it's really cool to see, with somebody who's accomplished and, very well experienced as yourself, giving back at the end of the year is definitely inspirational. It's something I want to at least try to do somehow, one way or another, but we'll see. Me throwing my whole foot in this whole social media scene. We'll see what comes up hopefully.
Well, yeah, man, I really appreciate you checking in every year and saying hi. And
how was that double chin challenge, huh?
That was a pain in the ass. That was a pain in the ass.
I wish you kept the recording, man, because I love to tickle myself and watch you curse up a storm, when you can't get it. But it's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I wish I wish I kept it too. I apologize.
That's all right. But no, it was it's one of those things you take for granted. Like, this can't be that hard until you actually do it. And oh yeah, this was 80s Nintendo shit. They lived to fuck you over in video games. Obviously, to get more money, but even in programming the games, yeah, they wouldn't. That game I still haven't beaten till this day. We're talking about Double Dragon, everybody, and the
original NES title.
The original NES, exactly. The arcade, which I think is.
Oh, that's another thing.
What's that?
That's another thing about that I have to bring up is that not only is Jeff Gabor a savant of animation, he's a savant of video games. That guy can sit down and play Mega Man 1 through 6 in one sitting.
Holy shit.
Yep.
For a whole day? I'm thinking.
I've seen him do it.
I've seen him
do it. He used to come up to do Extra Life with me up this way. And I swear to, because I go I play these games maybe once a year.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
I go online and I'm playing these games and I'm completely sucking. And and he comes over and he's just like blows through Mega Man's, all of them. It makes me look like a damn fool.
Damn, Gabor, man, stop it. Just suck at one thing, please. Like, so give us some breathing room, That, yeah, haven't watched much of his playthroughs, but I'm a big Mega Man fan. I haven't played many of the sequels, but Mega Man 1 and 2 are kind of my shindig. I cherish and love those games. And I'm a big beat 'em up guy too. That's why I was hounding you with the double chin challenge. I was like, do this shit, man. And you're like, I bet you can't. I should have put a time limit on you. Like I'll make it worse next time. Like I'll go back and let's like while eating a hot pepper or something like that.
I'll do it.
Yeah. By the way, I'm also a big fan and subscriber of Just a Few More Minutes podcast. For those of you who don't know or have seen it, definitely check out Pete's podcast. A lot of good animation wisdom in there too. Besides all the bullshit and having a good time, as you do as people, there's a lot of good talks about animation stuff. So thank you for all that stuff. Thank you for putting that all together. Man. Such a great treat to listen to, especially when I'm working. Do you do that? Like, is that kind of part of your workflow too? Do you find yourself listening to like any kind of like music or podcast as you work, or are you just kind of like a solo silent dude? Just get your shit done.
All right, I'll give you the ultimate. All right. Ultimate. Here's the poop. Okay.
All right, give me the poop, man. I'm mouth's open. Let's go.
I listen to copious amounts of Hair Nation on Sirius XM.
All right. I dig it. I'm a Joe Rogan guy, but all right. That's the secret to be a better animator, right? Cool, man. I know, like, there's a lot of people that I find most like music, most like talking, most listen to music, and others just like complete silence too. So I'm always picky about like, well, what is really better, or is it? Because everybody always goes back to the Richard Williams bullshit, like, well, I mean, it's not bullshit, it's great shit, but it's always just like, the milk call, can't do two things at one time when I'm animating, and yet, there's memes of Glenn Keane with headphones, and of course there's animators that I admire that just like listen and rock out to punk rock all the time. I'm like, what the fuck, like is there like a secret or anything like that? So yeah, that's just all. I like to ask everybody that. I'm like, what do you listen to when you like to work on, this hard art form that we kill ourselves every day to bring you people entertainment with,
You want to know a little secret?
Yeah. Let me in.
One of my favorite things to do is to just once in a while just let it go. Just not give a fuck about I do some of my best work when I don't give a fuck about what I'm working on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's this sort of like peacefulness that comes over you that allows you to just kind of just execute. It's hard to explain. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, it's like when you're in your own zone, you're in your own universe, and nobody can tell you no or and if or what if. It's just solely you.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to tap into that potential by doing this, show. I was going to say doing this whatever. It's just like do it, and I don't care what happens. Just throw it out there, like what's his name? Johnny Lawrence on Cobra Kai. Just like send that shit to the internet, and just whatever happens, that just know that this was made from me, all me. And I think that's where the best work comes from, just seeing an individual like the Treehouse Studios. That shit was amazing, and I'm happy you guys archived it and documented it so I can get a nice little laugh about the walrus, and then your puppet and all that stuff. And just like Just a Few More Minutes podcast, dude, like that was you guys being you, and that was, I could tell the excitement, the love, the passion that went into it. And it was something that's totally, you didn't need permission from anybody. So I kind of get it, I think I kind of get it. I'm going to go rob a bank right now, Pete. I'll be back. You got me excited, dude.
I want to give credit to my friend Michael Prest, who, not my friend, he's family. Mm-hmm. Michael Prest, he built the walrus puppet. he's been a builder of puppets ever since I've known him. And when we needed a walrus, he offered up. So,
gotcha. What was his name again?
Michael Prast.
Michael Prast. Here's to you. Here's to the walrus. Thanks for the memories there,
you.
sir. And also is his name James Ching?
Yes, definitely drink the James Chang.
James Ching, yeah, for giving Pete a job at Blue Sky, so I can have him on my show
today without him.
Yep. I wouldn't have him on my show 20 years later, without you today. So thank you, James. Hope to bump into you.
It's funny how that's a lot of how the industry works.
Mm-hmm.
Very
small industry still, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool, man. So I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to wrap it up with a couple of rapid fire questions, if that's cool with you,
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to ask you, oh God, I just had the question on the top of my head. Fuck, man, it's just one drink and I'm almost I can't even remember it. Fuck, I'm such a lightweight, dude. It's ridiculous. Damn it, I'm trying so bad to think of what the hell I was trying to ask. Talk about a professional show. It's all gonna suck. All right. Damn it. I was just thinking.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, it'll come back to me. All right, dude. Let me just do some quick, rapid fire questions. Just as a good fun thing. What you playing now? You playing anything? Playing any video games now?
No, I'm not playing anything.
No, yeah, you're working.
I've been focused on my new job.
Very well spoken. It's something that a lot of us need to be doing. So what you playing? Okay. All-time favorite game?
Metroid for the NES.
Wow. First Nintendo game you've ever played?
Kung Fu for the NES.
Wow, very good one. Favorite song to listen to when animating?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man.
What gets you jacked? First one that comes to mind.
Square Hammer by Ghost.
There you go. Fire Emblem, yes or no?
I'll say yes.
Oh, interesting. Favorite Mario game?
Super Mario Brothers Part 2 on the NES.
The Japanese one, Part 2?
Nope, the American one.
Oh, the Dream one? Spoilers. The NES one? Like the one that you picked Toad and Princess Peach and shit like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually played a lot of that game. Not to go off topic, but I played that more than any others. I didn't want to sound like a pussy, though, so I was just like, that's a good one. Favorite NES soundtrack?
Blaster Master.
Very good one. All right. What's your most favorite thing about animating?
My favorite thing is actually seeing people's reactions to it. Watching it in a crowded theater with people, and you were lucky enough to get a shot with a joke in it, and you're waiting in the anticipation, you're hoping, and then either it does the job or it fails, and when it does the job, it feels great.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Least favorite thing about animating?
Tracking.
Yeah, those fucking arc tracks. Yeah, I'm getting PTSD from my supervisors tracking shit for me. Most favorite animator?
I'm not being biased, Jeff Gabor.
I thought you were going to say me, damn it. No, Jeff is great. Yeah, I would probably say that too. Favorite drink?
Favorite drink? Pulp Daddy.
All right, the one you're drinking right now. I'm honored you're drinking that on my show. What's something you're learning right now? Any new skills you're practicing? I think that was the question now. Yeah.
I'm learning how to take better care of myself.
Mm-hmm. Longevity. Yep.
Which is something that's very easy to forget about when you're working behind a desk for hours at a time.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's very, very important. Yeah, same too, mentally and physically as well. I might add. So take care of yourself out there, people. And finally, or actually not finally, I'm going to say this one for last. Splining or blocking? We need to answer this one. Blocking, yeah. IK or FK?
FK.
FK, yeah. FK, IK. Cool. So if you had unlimited funding, total creative freedom, no holds barred, no back talking, no bullshit, what game does Pete Paquette make?
I would make my game that I started making called Croom.
Croom.
I made it with my brother. We have a full level created out, but some situations came about and we had to shelf it.
Still kind of in the process of wanting to get released, or what can we expect? I would love to try it.
Now it's just a matter of whether or not we can both find the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
When we shelved it, it was a difficult decision to make, but it was the right one to make at the time.
Yeah.
But I
still
hope
putting all your resources into that one, huh? It's called what again? Croom?
Yeah, Croom.
Croom. Okay, I kept thinking Crom. I'm a big Conan the Barbarian, watcher. So it's like every time I think Crom, I just want to yell it like Crom. Fuck you. That's great. Okay, so lastly and most important question: Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 3?
I'm gonna say Mega Man 3.
And now I'm gonna end the show there. Fuck off, Pete. Just goodbye. Oh God, I'm a Mega Man 2 guy. Why 3? Tell me why, so I can tell you you're wrong. What's that?
I like sliding.
That's it? That's all you want? Just sliding? Damn. Did they have the Charger Buster in Mega Man 3?
I can't remember.
That's probably 4, maybe. Yeah, well, who cares? Mega Man 2 is always better. Better soundtrack, more levels, more bosses, and it introduced the whole item system in there. It had passwords and coding, dude, and then Dr. Wily turns into a fucking alien in the end, man. How could you not love that? That's awesome.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying, though, the Mega Man 3 was the only one I was ever able to beat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Funny enough, I'll come clean and honest with you, too, since you've been with me. I haven't had Mega Man 3. I've only had 2. So I played that a bunch. My neighbors had Mega Man 4, so I totally skipped over 3. But in my heart of hearts, Mega Man 2 is always the best. But so I guess that settles it. So sweet, man. So yeah, man, dude, this has been amazing. This has been fun, Pete. I know your career is. Thanks, man. I know that your career is just way too big for just one podcast. Hopefully, maybe we can have you on later. Talk some more shit. Talk some more anim. Talk some more games. And I'm sure my viewers are listening.
Anytime, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, most definitely. So if anybody wants to check you out or look up more of your stuff, man, do you have anything out there? Can we find you? You want to plug anything?
If you look up Pete Paquette on all one word on Vimeo, it should send you to my Vimeo page. Cool, that's the only place where I really keep anything anymore.
Gotcha.
It's got all my reels up there, and I would like to get back into blogging. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a bit too. 10 years ago. Yeah, I enjoyed all your work. So that's cool. So Pete Paquette, all in one on Vimeo. That's where you store all your stuff.
Yep.
Cool, man. Yeah. Very old school. I like it too. Pete Paquette, everybody. Let me just end it by saying this, man. You're one of my all-time favorite animators. it's funny that, and we didn't even touch upon this, but it's funny is that we actually worked on a few projects together without actually meeting each other. Book of Life and Freebirds. You were still working from home, which I didn't even tackle. I wanted to ask him, like, how the hell did you work remote before remote was cool? But maybe for another time. But just because you're the Pete Paquette. But no, man, the creativity, the discipline, the grind, the no holds bar attitude that you got, you are always giving back at the end of the year too with Extra Life, which is amazing. And that cements you as a top G in my book. So thank you for all your work and service throughout the years of entertainment as well as military service as well. I'm happy you're still doing well. I'm happy you're still doing what you love, and I'm happy to call you a friend, my friend.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. So that'll be the end for episode 1. Episode 1. I'm a little tipsy, but all's fair. All's good. So I don't know how to sign off. So like, share, and subscribe for more of these interviews. Hopefully I can make them more down the line, or not. Whichever. We'll see how it goes. But hope to bring you more episodes, and in the future, maybe bring Pete back for another round.
I'll always say yes.
All right. Love it. So, all right, guys. So again, this is Brad Fosho. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.